Yo, what's good, kinfolk? Check this out. I want you to reflect on your life. And while you're reflecting on your life, I want you to see if sex or masturbation has caused any effect on the quality of your life. Now, as I sit back and reflect on my life, I realized that I was programmed at a very young age. And for those of you who don't know anything about the conscious and subconscious mind, I'm gonna put you on game. From the time you come out of your mother's womb, all the way up to ages, let's say 7 or 8, you are in your subconscious mind almost 100% of the time. And this is why a child's mind is fertile ground. Whatever seed you plant in it, good or bad, that's what's gonna grow. So if you pay close attention to what's going on today with our children, when we send them to school, we don't know that the school is teaching our children about homosexuality. They're teaching our children about sex in elementary school. So basically what they're doing is indoctrinating our children. Let's take it a step further. If you pay close attention to the cartoons that your children are watching, notice all the symbolism, the imagery, girls kissing girls, boys kissing boys. All of this is being programmed into that child's subconscious mind because that's what they want that child to be. They understand the power of the subconscious mind. And see, children don't have what they call the critical faculty, which is the filter that sits between the conscious and the subconscious mind. But anyway, I just had to put that out there so y'all can understand why they attack children at such an early age. Now, going back to what I was saying about reflecting on my life. My childhood was so crazy. By the age of 5, that's when I was exposed to porn. I remember how it was beginning to mess up my mind. With me watching it so much, I remember like out in the neighborhood, all the children used to play hide and go seek, right? So with me being the little mannish boy I was, I would be out there feeling on the girls, hunching on the girls. We hiding behind bushes, kissing and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just basically me trying to imitate what I was seeing on the pornos. So that's pretty much all I did as a child. Now, I remember when I turned 13, I used to spend the night over my cousin's house every weekend. So my auntie and my uncle used to go out all the time, right? And my uncle had all these porno tapes. So I remember talking to my cousin one night. I was like, cuz, I'm finna get one of these tapes, go in this room, lock the door, and do my thing. He was like, shoot, I'm finna do the same thing in the other room. So anyway, I remember the first time I ejaculated watching porn. I remember when I did, I felt all that energy, all that strength leave from my body. My legs got weak, my arms got weak. It's just like my body just broke down. I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And y'all know what I'm talking about. So I became addicted. So from ages 13 to 16, that's all I was doing, masturbating, watching porn. I remember when I was in junior high school, all my friends at that time were just having conversations about sex, you know what I'm saying, and what they was doing every weekend and stuff like that. So I'm just like, dang, I'm missing out because I never had sex. So boom, 9th grade year, that's when I lost my virginity. And when I did, I said to myself, I want more. I want more. So me and that girl, we broke up. I got with another girl, took her virginity. But keep in mind, my sisters had friends, so I'm taking their virginity too. I was becoming a mastermind at fornication. And this was before high school. Now, when I got to high school, that's when it really got bad because I was having sex with so many different females. I'm talking about the girls who I was so-called in a relationship with. I'm having sex with their friends on the low. You feel me? And then I was messing with girls at other schools. And, you know, I remember I used to text females all the time and be like, hey, you going to school? Do you want to skip school? Let's smash. Doom. Right? So I was awful, man. I couldn't focus on my grades. I couldn't focus on basketball. I really couldn't focus on doing my work. You feel what I'm saying? Like my mind was so messed up because I was only focusing on chasing females. I became good at it. And when I say I was a slave to it, like I was a slave to it because this is what controlled my life at that time. I guarantee you, if I wouldn't have put all my energy into chasing females and redirected that energy into sports, into my grades in school, I would probably be in the pros by now, playing basketball or football, straight up. Sex and masturbation messed up my mind. It clouded my judgment. Because of my sexual addiction, I thought I was in love with these females, but really it was just I had a high level of lust towards them. Oh, and it gave me a sense of pride as well. It seemed like I was trying to fill a void by having sex with so many women. And man, with me being so messed up in the mind, I was playing Russian roulette. I'm talking about it got to a point where females who I didn't even know like that, man, I was having unprotected sex and all that. You feel me? Just being reckless. I'm so thankful that I don't have anything. Now that I think about it, I did get chlamydia back in like 2009. I was dealing with like 4 or 5 females at the same time. And this is why I'm being so blunt with it, because I want y'all to understand that this lifestyle is not what's up. It's not what's up. And I learned my lesson after that. You know what I'm saying? That's when I started to slow down, because that scared me. But that was pretty much my life though. Thank God that I changed. So that's why today I'm going to talk to you all about semen retention. Semen retention is the practice of abstaining from ejaculation. See, by keeping the seed inside of you, you're allowing your body to reabsorb or transmute the seed. And by doing so, it refreshes the body. It regenerates the body, especially the brain. And see, that's why you find intellectual geniuses such as George Washington Carver. Now, for those of you who don't know, he was castrated as a child. He couldn't even have sex. So imagine what he was able to do with that creative energy, that creative force. He redirected that energy that most men today use to chase women to invent things. He was a genius. Another person that you probably never thought about, but the Master Yasha, he never had sex. Could you imagine what happened to his seed that he was producing? It was that material that helped him do all the things that many of us today cannot achieve. Although we can, we just have to know how it works. Now, see, the benefits of semen retention are well known. However, what's very interesting is that the mainstream Western science and medicine literally say the opposite. That is unhealthy to not ejaculate, and that ejaculation lowers prostate cancer risk. Now, for me personally, this information, among other information, is what solidified for me the extreme importance of retaining seminal fluid. They don't want us to retain it. And the question is why? See, when males retain their seminal fluid, their drive is amplified. Their mental validity and focus are increased. And see, that's when they become a force to be reckoned with. The powers that be, they don't want that. See, they want men with little drive, lazy, weak, low testosterone, less alpha males. Why? So they can be easily controlled. They want us depleting our chi energy or sexual energy by ejaculating. It's a fact that this information has been suppressed for hundreds of years. And they know if we knew about this, we would be indomitable. Look that word up. This is what I want y'all to do on your own time. Look up all the historical figures who retained their seminal fluid. I'm talking about all men of noteworthy accomplishment in history. I already gave you a head start. There's a lot of them out there. Check this though. Why you think they tell athletes not to have sex before a game or a fight? Because they understand when you have sex, it makes you weak. It makes you sluggish. That's why this is so important for you brothers out there who are single. You all need to stop masturbating and stop giving your strength to these women. If she's not your wife, you shouldn't be having sex, period. Reason why men can't be entrepreneurs or inventors, because they're giving all their strength to women. They masturbating, wasting their seed. Reason why men can't focus on doing the work of the Most High, because you're giving your strength to women. You're addicted to porn. You're masturbating. You're wasting your seed, that creative force, that creative drive, that driving force. So this is what I'm going to do for y'all. I'm going to switch over to the computer so we can get into this information. I'm going to show you brothers who refrained from giving women their strength and what great benefits came with that. And I'm going to show you brothers who gave their strength away and what came with that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so before we get into it, I want to say this, because I know you brothers who are married, you're probably sitting back asking like, what about us? You saying that we can't have sex with our wives anymore? You saying we can't ejaculate anymore? No, that's not what I'm saying. Now, for those of you who are married, you must understand that when you give your strength to your wife is going to give that strength back to you at the appointed time. When you're sick, she's going to nurture you. When you're down, she's going to lift you up. Look, the Creator gave women intuition. So when they're feeling something, 9 times out of 10, whatever they feeling is spot on. Another thing you brothers have to understand about your wives, she's your wisdom. She's your voice of reasoning. You feel what I'm saying? So when I talk about semen retention or not giving a woman your strength, y'all good. Like I said, if you give your strength to your wife, your soulmate, it's her job to give that strength back to you. What's that old saying? And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Behind every great man is a great woman or a strong woman or something like that. So the only advice I have for those of you who are married is to not have too much sex. Moderation is key. But if we gonna keep it all the way a band, the only reason for sex was to procreate. Anytime you read about somebody having sex, it was to bring forth a child. But outside of that, anytime you read about somebody having sex, it was always fornication or adultery. I mean, if we learn anything from our brothers and sisters, the beasts of the field, they go through cycles. Only time that they have sex is to procreate. They don't do it just for pleasure. Only us humans do it for pleasure. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. All I'm saying is that it just makes more sense to me to only have sex to procreate. But I know those of us who do have wives, we like to get it in. But the only reason for me doing this video is to show you brothers who are married why you should stay away from porn and stop masturbating. And for you brothers who are single, to not have sex at all, to keep your seed within you. Okay? Because if you do so, you'll do great things. And I'm going to prove it to you. So let's get it. All right. So I'm going to show you a couple men who couldn't retain their seminal fluid or their strength. Check this out. We're in Genesis chapter 38. And I'm going to go down to verse 8. Verse 8. And Judah said unto Onan, go in unto your brother's wife and marry her and raise up seed to your brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, referring to his seed, lest that he should give seed to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased the Most High, wherefore he slew him also. Now, there's a lot wrong with this. Judah told him to marry his brother's wife. Inside of Onan's mind, he thought, well, if I have sex with her and then she have a baby, it's not going to be my baby. It's going to be recognized as my brother's baby. So what's the point? You know what I'm saying? So at that point, he could have just made a decision to not do anything with the woman, which he would have still been in disobedience, but I don't think he would have died. So this what this man did. He was like, this baby ain't going to be recognized as my baby. So this what I'm going to do. I'm not going to get her pregnant. I'm going to just smash. You know what I'm saying? So he smashed and you saw what happened to him. Another thing that stood out to me too is when you look up the word Onan, the biblical definition is strong. But if we look at the Merriam-Webster definition, onanism, masturbation, coitus interruptus, self-gratification. Crazy, right? I don't know if you knew that or not, but that's interesting. Now let's look up masturbation. It says erotic stimulation, especially of one's own genital organs, commonly resulting in orgasm and achieved by manual or other bodily contact exclusive of sexual intercourse by instrumental manipulation, occasionally by sexual fantasies or by various combinations of these agencies. Let's look up gratification. Pleasure, especially when gained from the satisfaction of desire, a source of pleasure. For you brothers who masturbate, I want y'all to think about something. When you watch porn and masturbate, when you see a naked woman, or if you see a girl half dressed and you fantasize over her, imagining you having sex with her, getting sexually aroused because you've gotten yourself to believe that you're having sex with her, understand that you are lying to yourself. And what you're doing, you're trying to fake reality, man. When in fact, it's not you in the video. And what you're imagining isn't even real. It's fake. So once you understand that it's not you in the porn that you're watching, and that the sex fantasies that you're having are just that, fantasies, when you understand that, realize it, and actualize it, you will be free from this addiction. Straight up. All right, so let's go back to the records. We were talking about 09, right? So after 09 died, Judah had a little situation as well. We're going to go to the Testament of Judah to read about what happened with him after 09 died. So I'm in chapter 2, verse 10, in the Testament of Judah. It says, "And after these things, my son took to wife Tamar from Mesopotamia, a daughter of Aram. Now was wicked, and he was in need concerning Tamar, because she was not of the land of Canaan. And on the third night, an angel of the Lord smote him. And when he had not known her according to the evil craftiness of his mother, for he did not wish to have children by her, in the days of the wedding feast, I gave Onan to her in marriage. And he also in wickedness knew her not, though he spent with her a year. And when I threatened him, he went in unto her, but he spilled the seed on the ground, according to the command of his mother. And he also died through wickedness. And I wished to give Shelah also to her, but his mother did not permit it, for she wrought evil against Tamar, because she was not the daughters of Canaan, and she also herself was. And I knew that the race of the Canaanites was wicked, but the impulse of youth blinded my mind. And when I saw her pouring out wine, owing to the intoxication of wine, I was deceived, and took her, although my father had not counseled it. And while I was away, she went and took for Shelah a wife from Canaan. And when I knew what she had done, I cursed her in the anguish of my soul. And she also died through her wickedness together with her sons. And after these things, while Tamar was a widow, she heard after 2 years that I was going up to shear my sheep, and adorned herself in bridal array, and sat in the city Enam by the gate. For it was a law of the Amorites that she who was about to marry should sit in fornication 7 days by the gate. Therefore, being drunk with wine, I did not recognize her, and her beauty deceived me through the fashion of her adorning. And I turned aside to her and said, Let me go in unto you, let me have sex with you. And she said, What will you give me? And I gave her my staff and my girdle and the diadem of my kingdom in pledge. So he was giving all this stuff away to this woman just to have sex with her. You understand? So not only was he giving his strength away, this man was giving all his possessions away as well. And I went in unto her, and she conceived. And not knowing what I had done, I wished to slay her, but she privately sent my pledges and put me to shame. And when I called her, I heard also the secret words which I spoke when lying with her in my drunkenness. And I could not slay her, because it was from the Most High. For I said, lest haply she did it in subtlety, having received the pledge from another woman. But I came not again near her while I lived, because I had done this abomination in all Israel. All right, before we move on to Reuben, there are some more things I want to get from Judah. This is chapter 3, verse 3. Since I also glory that in wars no comely woman's face ever enticed me, and reproved Reuben, my brother, concerning Bela, which we're going to read about in a little bit, the wife of my father. The spirits of jealousy and of fornication arrayed themselves against me until I lay with Bathshua the Canaanite and Tamar, who was espoused to my sons. Right? So check this out. Verse 11 and 12. For the spirit of fornication hath wine as a minister to give pleasure to the mind. For these two also take away the mind of man. For if a man drink wine to drunkenness, it disturbeth the mind with filthy thoughts, leading to fornication, and heateth the body to carnal union. And when it talks about heating the body to carnal union, that's that fire inside of you that you feel in the lower parts of your body when you want to have sex. You feel what I'm saying? That's that same fire or that burning that Paul was talking about. Now let's look up this word carnal. All right, the definition for carnal: relating to physical, especially sexual needs and activities. All right, down below it says his carnal desires: sexual, sensual, erotic, lustful, lascivious, libidinous, lecherous, licentious, physical, bodily, corporeal, fleshly. So it goes on to say, and if the occasion of the lust be present, he worketh the sin and is not ashamed. All right, and the last one, he told his children in verse 37, beware therefore, my children, of what? Fornication and the love of money, and hearken to Judah your father. Okay, moving on to the testament of Reuben, chapter 1, verse 6 through 9. It says, and behold, I call to witness against you this day the power of heaven, that you walk not in the sins of youth and fornication, wherein I was poured out and defiled the bed of my father Jacob. And I tell you that he smote me with a sore plague in my loins for 7 months. And had not my father Jacob prayed for me to the Most High would have destroyed me. For I was 30 years old when I wrought this evil thing before the Most High. And for 7 months I was sick unto death. And after this I repented with set purpose of my soul for 7 years before the Most High. Now, when we skip down to verse 11, it says, and now hear me, my children, what things I saw concerning the 7 spirits of deceit when I repented. Okay, so we're going to go down to verse 20. It says, the 7th is the power of procreation and sexual intercourse. It is a powerful thing. Okay, but look, with which through love of pleasure sins enter in. Remember what I said in the beginning? Due to our lack of understanding, we abuse sex when it's really supposed to be used only for procreation. Verse 21, wherefore it is the last in order of creation, and the first in that of youth, because it is filled with what? Ignorance, and it leadeth the youth as a blind man to a pit, and as a beast to a precipice. Now verse 23 said, with these spirits are mingled the spirits of error. Verse 24, first, the spirit of fornication is seated in the nature and in the senses. Skip down to verse 31 and 32. And with all these, the spirit of sleep is joined, which is that of error and fantasy. And so perisheth every young man, darkening his mind from the truth, and not understanding the law of the Most High, nor obeying the admonitions of his father, as befell me also in my youth. All right, we still in the testament of Reuben. This is chapter 3. Check this out, and this is really important. Verse 6, therefore, my children, I say unto you, observe all things whatsoever I command you, and you shall not sin. For a pit unto the soul is the sin of fornication, separating it from the Most High, and bringing it near to idols, because it deceiveth the mind and understanding. And this is true. This is what I was explaining to you all as I was reflecting on my life. When you are a slave to fornication, you know what I'm saying? When you're masturbating, when you're having sex with all these different females, it separates you from the Most High. It clouds your mind, your judgment. It really messes you up. So when I speak about these things, when I give my testimony, I am not lying. I was in a very dark place as a young man. But it goes on to say, and leadeth down young men into Hades before their time. For many have fornication destroyed, because though a man be old or noble, or rich or poor, he bringeth reproach upon himself with the sons of men, and derision of Beliar. For you heard regarding Joseph, which we're going to read in a little bit once I switch over to the men who refrained from giving their strength to women. Joseph was one of those men. But anyways, it says how he guarded himself from a woman and purged his thoughts from all fornication, and found favor in the sight of the Most High and men. For the Egyptian woman did many things unto him, and summoned magicians, and offered him love potions. But the purpose of his soul admitted no evil desire. Therefore the power of your fathers delivered him from every evil and hidden death. For if fornication overcomes not your mind, neither can Beliar overcome you. For evil are women. And understand the context. It's not talking about all women, but those who are harlots, whores. You understand? Soul diggers. But anyways, for evil are women, my children. And since they have no power or strength over man, they use wiles by outward attractions, that they may draw him to themselves, in whom they cannot bewitch by outward attractions. Him they overcome by craft. For moreover, concerning them, the angel of the Lord told me and taught me that women are overcome by the spirit of fornication more than men. Why? Because us men, we possess that driving force, that creative energy. And women fiend for that. You got some women out there who just want your strength. That's why when you look around and you see all these weak brothers, it's because the women that they deal with then took all their strength from them. There are women out there who only want you for your strength, for your energy, to drain you of your chi. It says, and in their heart they plot against men, and by means of their adornment they deceive first their minds, and by the glance of the eye instill the poison, and then through the accomplished act they take them captive. For a woman cannot force a man openly, but by a harlot's bearing she beguiles him. Flee, brothers, flee therefore fornication, my children, and command your wives and your daughters that they adorn not their heads and faces to deceive the mind, because every woman who useth these wiles have been reserved for eternal punishment. Beware therefore of fornication, and if you wish to be pure in mind, guard your senses from every woman, and command the women likewise not to associate with men, that they also may be pure in mind. For in fornication there is neither understanding nor godliness. All jealousy dwelleth in the lust thereof. All right, this is the testament of Simeon, chapter 2, verse 12. And all it says is, beware therefore of fornication, for fornication is mother of all evils, separating from the Most High and bringing near to Beliar. Now we're going to go back into the scriptures, and I'm going to show you all the scriptures concerning fornication. I'm going to go through this quick, so keep up. Galatians chapter 5, verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these. Now these are all the works of the lower self. All right, your flesh. adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness. All right. I just wanted to get fornication out of that. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17 through 20. But he that is joined unto the Most High is one spirit. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. What? Know you not that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you, which you have of the Most High, and you are not your own? For you are bought with a price. Therefore glorify the Most High, the Creator, in your body, your temple. Glorify, praise the power inside of you and in your spirit, which are powers. This is why it's important to notice, because in my next video, I'm going to reveal something to you all. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1 and 2. Now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, why? To avoid fornication, giving his strength away, wasting his seed. To let every man have his own wife to give his strength to. Why? Because your wife is going to give that strength back to you. And of course, to have children. And let every woman have her own husband. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 8. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed and fell in one day 23,000. Talking about our ancestors when they were in the wilderness. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, in the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers the Most High will judge. Revelation chapter 21, verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. But check this out, whoremongers. I found something interesting with whoremongers. When you look this word up in the Greek, guess what you get? Pornos. Pornos. A man who prostitutes his body to another's lust for hire. A male prostitute. A man who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse. A fornicator. But anyway, 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 10, it says, for whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with mankind, for men stealers, for liars, for perjured persons, and if there be any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine. All right, so I was able to pull something from the SEMEN Gospel of Peace regarding the whoremonger. It says, commit not whoredom by day or by night, for the whoremonger is like a tree whose sap runs out from its trunk, and that tree will be dried up before its time, nor will it ever bear fruit. Therefore go not a whoring, lest Satan draw up your body, and the Most High make your seed unfruitful. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 3. For this is the will of the Most High, even your sanctification, that you should abstain from fornication, masturbation, porn, having sex with all these women who you're not married to. This is Tobit chapter 4, verse 12. It says, beware of all whoredom, my son. But yeah, out of all this, I just wanted to focus on this part. Beware of all whoredom. All right, so remember when I told y'all that you will have people out there that'll tell you you shouldn't fornicate, whether you're masturbating or having unlawful sex and all that. They don't really give you the science behind it. They don't tell you how it affects your health. You understand how it affects your spirituality. So what I'm gonna do for you all is I'm gonna read a couple things regarding semen retention. So this is one article, and they try to label it the cult. They always want to put cult on something. But anyways, it says these guys believe you shouldn't come because your seed contains holistic metaphysical powers, which it does. Anyways, a man's generally has enough life force to repopulate a large portion of the planet, says Chris Bell. That's a lot of energy. It's talking about this guy right here. But anyways, it says it was during those years, he says, that he became concerned with how internally confused and feminized cosmopolitan masculinity had become. Part of the cause, in his estimation, was our semen, how we devalue and disrespect it, how we refuse to treat it as a crucial part of our maleness, right? When a man ejaculates in order to scratch his itch, to experience a few seconds of euphoria, he immediately goes into some form of deficiency. All right. Now, what many of you don't know is that our sperm contains zinc. That's why a lot of men are deficient in zinc, because the essence that's stored in your kidneys, every time a man ejaculates, the kidneys are taxed and you lose zinc. Zinc is the mineral most important to testosterone production. All right. So it says, which every man feels. He puts his limp, I ain't gonna say that, away, and there's nothing it wants to do anymore. Many men fall asleep after ejaculating, and some become totally disinterested in the partner they happen to be with once the deed is done. And see, that's another thing. Like, for those of you brothers who are married, if you are addicted to porn, it causes imbalance in your relationship. You're not gonna be that interested in your wife because porn has messed up your head. You understand? So the emotions and the love and all that, you know what I'm saying? It won't be there until you overcome that addiction with porn and masturbation. But it says the man drains himself of his essence, of his vitality. If the man wasn't to indulge in a few seconds of euphoria, but instead is willing to acquire the ability to let this vital essence build up and spread up through the higher centers of his body. Remember when I was talking about George Washington Carver, you understand, he was castrated, so he couldn't have sex. So just imagine all of that sperm he was producing. It couldn't come out of him. So his body reabsorbed it. It went to different areas of his body, including his brain, right? It made him smarter, made him more creative. You understand? And I couldn't even imagine where he was, like, on a spiritual level. So anyways, this brings him to a place of internal alchemy. It says, according to Bell, the effects of semen retention can be felt in both the tangibles and intangibles. From a scientific perspective, he says that ejaculate contains a huge amount of zinc and selenium. I just told you all about the zinc, which are both dispossessed from the body after ejaculating. It usually takes a number of days for these nutrients and hormones to build back up and rebalance, he says. So you can imagine the condition of the man who was jerking off once or twice every day. And that was me back in the day, 2 or 3 times plus having sex with females. Just awful. Anyways, from a more spiritual angle, he points to the Chinese concept of Jing, which refers to the mystic qualities of both semen and menstrual blood, essential fluids which cannot be regained. Bell's doctrine states that men must transmute, which means change in form. Let's look it up. Change in form, nature, or substance, right? Their sexual energy back into their soul or their bodies, which can only be fully consummated through asceticism. Let's look this word up. Severe self-discipline and avoidance of all forms of indulgence. All right. It's to keep the tap closed, to plug the leak, he continues, so the water can build up and circulate internally. When the man allows his life force energy to accumulate before he knows it, he has oceans of energy which he isn't used to having. Okay, so we're going to move on and read something else. It says, according to the Vedas, storing semen inside the body is useful and provides energy to achieve goals. Is there a medical explanation for this? I'm going to just read. It's a lot of it, but let me see if I can try to get through it fast. So the vital energy, the Varia, that supports your life. So let's look up this word so y'all won't be confused on what these words mean. It says viaria, translated as energy, diligence, or enthusiasm or effort, right? So the viaria that supports your life, which shines in your sparkling eyes, which beams in your shining cheeks, is a great treasure for you. Remember this point well. Viaria is the quintessence of blood. 1 drop of semen is manufactured out of 40 drops of blood. A tree draws the essence or rasa from the earth. This essence is circulated throughout the tree, its twigs, branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits. The shining colors and life in the leaves, flowers, and fruits are due to this rasa. Similarly, the viaria that is manufactured by the cells of the testes out of blood gives color and vitality to the human body and its different organs. Okay, according to Ayurveda, semen is the last dhatu that is formed out of blood. Now let's look up this word dhatu real quick so y'all won't be confused. Dhatu, the 7 fundamental principles that support the basic structure of the body. They consist of rasa. All right, so it says formed out of food. Out of food is manufactured chili. Out of chili comes blood. Out of blood comes flesh. Out of flesh comes fat. Out of fat comes bone. Out of bone comes marrow. Out of bone comes semen. These are the sapta dhatus, or the 7 dhatus that support this life and body. It is the last essence. It is the essence of essences. The viaria comes out of the very marrow that lies concealed inside the bones. There are 3 divisions in each dhatu. Semen nourishes the physical body, the heart, and the intellect. Only that man who uses the physical body, the heart, and intellect can have perfect brahmacharya. So let me show you all what this word means. Okay, brahmacharya, it means conduct. Okay, a wrestler who uses his physical body only keeps the intellect and the heart undeveloped, cannot expect to have full brahmacharya or conduct. He can have brahmacharya of the body only, but not of the mind and the heart. The semen that belongs to the heart and the mind will certainly flow out. Semen is the quintessence of food or blood. 1 drop of semen is manufactured out of 40 drops of blood according to modern medical science. According to the Ayurveda, it is elaborated out of 80 drops of blood. The 2 testes or seeds that are located in the scrotal bag are called secretory glands. The cells of these testes have been endowed with the peculiar property of secreting semen from the blood. Just as bees collect honey in a honeycomb drop by drop, so also the cells of the testes collect semen drop by drop from the blood. Then this fluid is taken by the 2 ducts or tubes to the vesiculae seminalis. Under excitement, it is thrown out by special ducts called ejaculatory ducts into the urethra, where it is mixed with prostatic juice. Semen is found in a subtle state in all the cells of the body, just as sugar is all pervading in the sugar cane, butter and milk. So also semen is pervading the whole body. Just as the buttermilk is thin after the butter is removed, so also semen is thin by its wastage. The more the wastage of semen, the more is the weakness. So remember when I was telling y'all about, when you release this seminal fluid from your body, it makes you weak. All right. So the more and more and more you waste your seed, you're losing a part of your life. You're becoming closer to death. So it says in the I'm not even finna try to pronounce these words. But anyways, it says falling of semen brings death. Preservation of semen gives life. Semen is the real vitality in men. It is the hidden treasure in man. It imparts Brahma, tajas to the face, and strength to the intellect. Now, secret of health and longevity of life. Without brahmacharya, which is conduct, all your exercises are nothing. It is the master key for opening the realms of health and happiness. It is the cornerstone of the edifice of bliss and unalloyed felicity. The preservation of semen is the secret of health and longevity and of all success in the physical, mental, intellectual, and spiritual planes. He who has even a little bit of brahmacharya conduct will tide over a crisis of any disease very easily. If it takes a month for an ordinary man for recovery, this man will be completely all right in a week. Okay, so your sperm, y'all just don't even understand, man. Like, y'all better get on this, like, for real. A good lot of energy is wasted during copulation. Bad memory, and I can attest to this because my memory is jacked. No lie. Premature old age, impotence, various sorts of eye diseases, and various nervous diseases are attributable to the heavy loss of this vital fluid, your seminal fluid. It is greatly shocking indeed to see many of our youth walking with tottering steps, with pale, bloodless faces, owing to the loss of this vital fluid, instead of jumping hither and thither with agile, nimble steps with vigor and vitality like the squirrel. Some people are so passionate and weak that even the thought or sight or touch of a woman causes discharge of semen. The disastrous effects of sexual indulgence. The most devitalizing and demoralizing of pleasures is the sex pleasure. Sensual enjoyment is attended with various defects. It is attended with various sorts of sins, pains, weaknesses, attachments, slave mentality, weak will, severe exertion and struggle, craving, and mental restlessness. Okay? Whenever your body is craving for something, you're suffering. Worldly persons never come to their proper senses, although they get severe knocks, kicks, and blows from different corners. The strolling street dog never stops from visiting the house, even though it is peddled with stones every time. Eminent doctors of the West say that various kinds of diseases arise from the loss of semen, particularly in young age. There appear boils on the body, acne or eruptions on the face, blue lines around the eyes, absence of beard, sunken eyes, pale with anemia, loss of memory, loss of eyesight, short-sightedness, discharge of semen along with urine, enlargement of the testes, pain in the testes, debility, drowsiness, laziness, gloominess, palpitation of the heart, dyspnoea or difficulty in breathing, whatever that word is, pain in the back, loins, head and joints, weak kidneys, passing urine in sleep, fickle-mindedness, lack of thinking power, bad dreams, wet dreams, and restlessness of mind. Mark carefully the evil after effects that follow the loss of seminal energy. Persons are physically, mentally, and morally debilitated by wasting the seminal power on so many occasions for nothing. The body and the mind refuse to work energetically. There is physical and mental lethargy. You experience much exhaustion and weakness. You will have to take recourse to drinking milk, and I don't advise anybody to mess with this milk over here because it's tainted. But anyways, to eating fruits and aphrodisiac confections to make good the loss of energy. Remember that these things can never repair the loss completely. Once lost is lost forever. You will have to drag on a dreary, cheerless existence. Bodily and mental strength get diminished day by day. Those who have lost much of their viaria become very irritable. Little things upset their minds. Those who have not observed the vow of celibacy become the slaves of anger, jealousy, laziness, and fear. If you have not got your senses under control, you venture to do foolish acts, which even children would not dare to do. He who has wasted the vital energy becomes easily irritable, loses his balance of mind. Okay, didn't we read all this? And gets into a state of explosive fury for trifling things. When a man becomes furious, he behaves improperly. He does not know what he's exactly doing as he loses his power of reasoning and discrimination. He will do anything he likes. He will insult even his parents, guru or teacher, and respectable persons. It behooves, therefore, that the aspirant who is trying to develop good behavior must preserve the vital energy. Preservation of this divine energy leads to the attainment of strong willpower, good behavior, and spiritual exaltation. Excessive sexual intercourse drains the energy enormously. Young men do not realize the value of the vital fluid. They waste this dynamic energy by immoderate copulation. Their nerves are tickled much. They become intoxicated. What a serious blunder they commit. It is a crime that demands capital punishment. When the energy is once wasted, it can never be recouped by any other means. It is the most powerful energy in the world. One sexual act shatters completely the brain and the nervous system because they work hand in hand. They connected. People foolishly imagine that they can recover the loss of energy by taking milk, almonds, and whatever that word is. This is a mistake. You must try your level best to preserve every drop. Although you are a married man, self-realization is the goal, right? So this part right here, for all you married men, is it saying you should stop? No, it's not saying you should stop. It's just saying like you should be careful, be mindful, okay? The energy that is wasted during one sexual intercourse is tantamount to the energy that is spent in physical labor for 10 days, or the energy that is utilized in mental work for 3 days. Mark how precious is the vital fluid, semen. Do not waste this energy. Preserve it with great care. You will have wonderful vitality. When Viagra is not used, it is all transmuted, okay, changed into whatever that word is, or spiritual energy, and stored up in the brain. All right. Western doctors know little of this salient point. Most of your ailments are due to excessive seminal wastage. So I hope you learned something from that. Now we almost at the finish line. We almost there. But I want to drive home a few points, okay? I want to talk about the men who did not waste their seminal fluid, who did not give their strength to women. And we're going to read about all the wonderful things they did by not doing so. All right. Now I'm going to show you real quick what type of women you shouldn't give your strength to. All right. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life, to keep you from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Lust not after her beauty in your heart, neither let her take you with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and an adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Proverbs chapter 7. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with you. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of your eye. Bind them upon your fingers, write them upon the table of your heart. Say unto wisdom, you art my sister, and call understanding your kinswoman, that they may keep you from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words. For at the window of my house I looked through my casement, and beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youth, a young man void of understanding, passing through the street near her corner. And he went the way to her house in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot, and subtle of heart. She is loud and stubborn, her feet abide not in her house. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. So she caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face said unto him, I have peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows. Therefore came I forth to meet you, diligently to seek your face. And I have found you. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love unto the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves. For the goodman is not at home. He is gone a long journey. He hath taken a bag of money with him, and will come home at the day appointed. With her much fair speech she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips she forced him. He goeth after her straightway, as an ox to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till a dart strike through his liver, as a bird hasteth to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O you children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not your heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her paths, for she hath cast down many wounded. Yeah, many strong men have been slain by her, because they gave her their strength. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. Sirach chapter 9 verse 2. Give not your soul, your strength, your energy unto a woman to set her foot upon your substance. Meet not with a harlot, a hoe, a whore, lest you fall into her snares. Use not much the company of a woman that is a singer, another word for harlot, lest thou be taken with her attempts. Gaze not on a maid, that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her. Give not your soul unto harlots, again your strength, your sexual energy, that thou lose not your inheritance. Okay, your seed. Verse 8, turn away your eye from a beautiful woman, and look not upon another's beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman. For herewith love is kindled as a fire. Sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in your arms, and spend not your money with her at the wine, lest your heart incline unto her, and so through your desire you fall into destruction. Sirach chapter 25 verse 21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for sexual pleasure. Sirach chapter 26 verse 22. An harlot shall be accounted as spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. Now remember what I said. If you brothers who are married give your strength to your wives, they're going to give it back to you. The whole purpose for you having a wife is for her to make you a better you. You understand? So verse 23, a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man. All right, that's that law of attraction. But a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Most High. A dishonest woman contendeth shame, but an honest woman will reverence her husband. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Most High. All right, so we're going to read the testament of Joseph, and I'm sure you're going to find this interesting. You're going to see the great lengths that some of these women will go to try to get a man to fall and give his strength away to them. So check this out. And we all need to be like Joseph. It says, and I struggle against a shameless woman, urging me to transgress with her. But the power of Israel, my father, delivered me from the burning flame. And see, here we go again, talking about this burning flame that we all have. You know what I'm saying? Whenever we desire something or crave something, especially sexual pleasure. You understand? And so you brothers who are single, you must control this fire. We're going to skip down to, how often did the Egyptian woman threaten me with death? How often did she give me over to punishment and then call me back and threaten me? And when I was unwilling to company with her or sleep with her, she said to me, you shall be Lord of me and all that is in my house, if thou wilt give yourself unto me, and you shall be as our master. But I remembered the words of my father, and going into my chamber, I wept and prayed unto the Most High. And I fasted in those 7 years, and I appeared to the Egyptians as one living delicately. For they that fast for the Most High's sake receive beauty of face. And if my Lord were away from home, I drank no wine, nor for 3 days did I take my food, but I gave it to the poor and sick. And I sought the Lord early, and I wept for the Egyptian woman of Memphis, for very unceasingly did she trouble me. For also at night she came to me under pretense of visiting me. And because she had no male child, she pretended to regard me as a son. So to all her friends and everybody else, she was like, this my son, this my boy. But behind closed doors, she was trying to get in them draws. But anyways, verse 33, and for a time she embraced me as a son, and I knew it not. But later she sought to draw me into fornication. And when I perceived it, I sorrowed unto death. And when she had gone out, I came to myself and lamented for her many days, because I recognized her guile and her deceit. And I declared unto her the words of the Most High, if happily she would turn from her evil lust. Often therefore did she flatter me with words as a holy man, and guilefully in her talk praised my chastity, while desiring to ensnare me when we were alone. For she lauded me openly as chaste, and in secret she said unto me, fear not my husband, for he is persuaded concerning your chastity. For even should one tell him concerning us, he would not believe. It says, owing to all these things, I lay upon the ground and besought the Most High, that the Most High would deliver me from her deceit. And when she had prevailed nothing thereby, she came again to me under the plea of instruction, that she might learn the word of the Most High. And she said unto me, if you willest that I should leave my idols, lie with me, and I will persuade my husband to depart from his idols, and we will walk in the law by your Lord. And I said unto her, the Lord willeth not that those who reverence him should be in uncleanness, nor doeth he take pleasure in them that commit adultery, but in those that approach him with a pure heart and undefiled lips. But she hid her peace, longing to accomplish her evil desire. And I gave myself yet more to fasting and prayer, that the Most High might deliver me from her. And again, at another time she said unto me, if you will not commit adultery, I will kill my husband by poison, and take you to be my husband. I therefore, when I heard this, rent my garments, and said unto her, woman, reverence the Most High, and do not this evil deed, lest thou be destroyed. For know indeed that I will declare this your device unto all men. She therefore, being afraid, besought that I would not declare this device. And she departed, soothing me with gifts, and sending to me every delight of the sons of men. And afterwards she sent me food mingled with enchantments. And when the eunuch who brought it came, I looked up and beheld a terrible man giving me with the dish a sword. And I perceived that her scheme was to beguile me. And when he had gone out, I wept, nor did I taste that or any other of her food. So then after one day she came to me and observed the food, and said unto me, why is it that you have not eaten of the food? And I said unto her, it is because thou hast filled it with deadly enchantments. And how saidest thou, I come not near to idols, but to the Most High alone? Now therefore know that the power of my Father have revealed unto me by his angel your wickedness, and I have kept it to convict thee, if happily thou mayest see and repent. But that thou mayest learn that the wickedness of the ungodly have no power over them that worship the Most High with chastity. Behold, I will take of it and eat before you. And having so said, I prayed thus, the power of my fathers and the angel of Abraham be with me, and ate. And when she saw this, she fell upon her face at my feet weeping, and I raised her up and admonished her. And she promised to do this iniquity no more. But her heart was still yet set upon evil, and she looked around how to ensnare me, and sighing deeply she became downcast, though she was not sick. And when her husband saw her, he said unto her, why is your countenance fallen? And she said unto him, I have a pain at my heart, and the groanings of my spirit oppress me. And so he comforted her who was not sick. Then accordingly, seizing an opportunity, she rushed unto me while her husband was yet without. And she said unto me, look, I will hang myself or cast myself over a cliff if you will not lay with me. And when I saw the spirit of Beliar, or Satan, was troubling her, I prayed unto the Most High and said unto her, why, wretched woman, art thou troubled and disturbed, blinded through sins? Remember that if you kill yourself, Astaho, the concubine of your husband, your rival, will beat your children, and you will destroy your memory from off the earth. And she said unto me, lo, then thou lovest me. let this suffice me, only strive for my life and my children, and I expect that I shall enjoy my desire also. But she knew not that because of my Lord I spake thus, and not because of her. So check this out, verse 68. Listen. For if a man have fallen before the passion of a wicked desire, and become enslaved by it, even as she, whatever good thing he may hear with regard to that passion, he receiveth it, with a view to his wicked desire. I declare therefore unto you, my children, that it was about the 6th hour when she departed from me, and I knelt before the Most High all day and all the night. And about dawn I rose up, weeping the while and praying for a release from her. At last, then she laid hold on my garments, forcibly dragging me to have connection with her or sex with her. When therefore I saw that in her madness she was holding fast to my garment, I left it behind and fled away naked. And holding fast to the garment, she falsely accused me. And when her husband came, he cast me into prison in his house. And on the morrow he scourged me and sent me into Pharaoh's prison. And when I was in bonds, the Egyptian woman was oppressed with grief, and she came and heard how I gave thanks unto the Most High, and sang praises in the abode of darkness, and with glad voice rejoiced, glorifying my power that I was delivered from the lustful desire of the Egyptian woman. And often have she sent unto me, saying, Consent to fulfill my desire, and I will release you from your bonds, and I will free you from the darkness. And not even in thought did I incline unto her. For the Most High loveth him who in a den of wickedness combines fasting with chastity, rather than the man who in king's chambers combines luxury with license. And if a man liveth in chastity and desireth also glory, and the Most High knoweth that it is expedient for him, he bestoweth this also upon me. How often, though she were sick, did she come down to me at unlooked for times, and listened to my voice as I prayed. And when I heard her groanings, I held my peace. For when I was in her house, she was wont to bear her arms and breast and legs, that I might lie with her. For she was very beautiful, splendidly adorned, in order to beguile me. And the Most High guarded me from her devices. So brothers, those are the type of women you want to stay away from. Okay, so this is going to be the last thing I bring out before I conclude. All right, so this is the Gospel of the Holy 12, Lection 9, the 4 temptations. And let me just say this, whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter, okay? Just check out the information that's inside of it. It says, verse 1, Then was Yasha led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And the wild beasts of the desert were around him, and became subject unto him. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If you be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. For it is written, I will not feed you with the finest of wheat and with honey. Out of the rock will I satisfy you. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. Then the devil placed up before him a woman. And I know a lot of y'all can be like, this goes against Scripture. It's not in Scripture. But anyways, of exceeding beauty and comeliness, and of subtle wit, and a ready of understanding withal. And he said unto him, Take her as you wilt, for her desire is unto you, and you shall have love and happiness and comfort all your life, and see your children's children. Yeah, is it not written? It is not good for man that he should be alone. And Yasha said, Get you behind me, for it is written, Be not led away by the beauty of woman. Yeah, all flesh is as grass, and the flower of the field. The grass withereth, and the flower fadeth away. But the word of the Eternal endureth forever. My work is to teach and to heal the children of men. Okay? And he that is born of the Most High keepeth his seed within him. Now remember what I said in the beginning? It was due to him keeping his seed within him, giving him the ability to do what he did. And to confirm what we just read, 1 John chapter 3, verse 9, whosoever is born of the Most High doeth not commit sin. Why? For his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of the Most High. All right, so this is the Gospel of the Holy 12, Lection 92, verses 2 through 4. It says, but unto my disciples I show a better and more perfect way, even this, that marriage should be between one man and one woman, who by perfect love and sympathy are united, and that while love and life do last, howbeit in perfect freedom. But let them see to it that they have perfect health, and that they truly love each other in all purity, and not for worldly advantage only, and then let them plight their troth one to another before witnesses. Then, when the time is come, let the angel or presbyter offer prayer and thanksgiving, and bind them with the scarlet cord, if you will, and crown them, and lead them thrice around the altar, and let them eat of one bread and drink of one cup. Then holding their hands together, let him say to them in this wise, be you two in one. Blessed be the holy union. You whom the Most High doeth join together, let no man put asunder, so long as life and love do last. And if they bear children, let them do so with discretion and prudence, according to their ability to maintain them. Nevertheless, to those who would be perfect and to whom it is given, I say, let them be as the angels of the Most High in heaven, who neither marry nor are given in marriage, nor have children, nor care for the morrow, but are free from bonds, even as I am, and keep and store up the power of the Most High within. Why? For their ministry. Why? And for works of healing, even as I have done. But the many cannot receive this saying or this teaching or understanding. Only they to whom it is given. Okay? So if you're not married, you don't have any children, you should keep and store up the power, this creative energy within you for your ministry, for the works of healing, even as I have done. All right, so we almost finished. This is Gospel of the Holy 12, Lection 93, verse 3 and 4. And another asked him, saying, if any be sick among us, shall we have power to heal even as you do? And Yahshua answered, this power cometh of perfect chastity and of faith. Okay, abstinence and faith. They who are born of the Most High keep their seed within them. Nevertheless, if any be sick among you, let them send for the presbyters, that they may anoint them with oil of olive in the name of the Lord, and the prayer of faith and the going out of power with the voice of thanksgiving shall raise them up, if they are not detained by sin of this or a former life. I think that's about it for this video. Man, I hope y'all learned a lot from this, and I just pray that you apply everything that I brought forth to your life. You understand? And what y'all should do after you watch this, just continue to do your research. I think you brothers who are single, you should practice abstinence. Keep your seed within you. Don't waste your seed. Stop watching porn. Get away from masturbation. Also, you brothers who are married and who struggle with masturbation, y'all should stop. You understand? Just stop, man. Keep your energy within you. Keep your strength within you. You understand?